What are some unethical and possibly illegal life hacks? My dad was a private investigator when I was a kid. 85% of his job consisted of just sitting in his truck waiting for someone to come out of somewhere. If there was no free parking available, he would just park wherever he wanted and then put 4 traffic cones around his truck. Eventually he even got a hard hat and one of those fluorescent vests construction workers wear and threw them in the bed of his truck to make it look like the truck belonged to a construction worker. He never once got a ticket. Need references for your job interview? Have a friend fake it. Just make it believable and don't pick something you shouldn't be doing. References are just people who don't know you calling people they don't know for information they can't confirm. If you're otherwise qualified, there's no reason it should be a barrier. My friend tried this once and used me as a reference. Ended up on a half-an-hour call with a third-party fact checker. The fact checker happened to be my neighbor's mom. My friend got the job, but it was a terrible experience all around. This one isn't really illegal, but if you go to Dunkin' Donuts about 30 minutes before closing time, they will give you all their leftover donuts if you ask. If you don't, they just throw them away. Sadly, all the ones by me are open 24 hours long, so I can't do unethical things now. This won't apply to all parking garages, but I used to park at one where, right before I paid my ticket at that vending machine type doohickey, I would walk back to the entrance gate, press the button for another ticket and pay instead with the new one. I would be charged according to my stay of 30 seconds, when in reality I had been there for hours. I went to a university where the student to parking ratio was extremely terrible. You would basically have to show up 2 hours before class, if you lived off campus, to get a parking spot. Personally, I lived on campus, so for me parking wasn't that bad unless I left the campus before 5 PM. So every time I walked to my car later in the day, I noticed that a parking spot right in the front, prime piece of parking, always had an orange cone on it. There was nothing wrong with it, it just had an orange cone. Later that semester I had to go get something out of my car in the morning and see a guy drive up to the cone spot, get out of his car, put the cone in the trunk, and proceed to park. Turns out this guy has been doing this for months, using the cone to reserve his spot. Apparently no one ever questions or moves the cone when he places it back on the parking spot when he leaves. TLD, DR guy used an orange cone to reserve prime parking spot. No one ever questioned it. At a Redbox, put in the promotion code Redbox, Brick Room or Break Room. Most places get one free movie a day for their break room for having the machine on site and don't utilize this. If nobody has used that code within 24 hours, it's your free. If your lie embarrasses yourself, people are more likely to believe it. Cindy thinks you ate the last cookie. You couldn't have because you had awful diarrhea. The key is to be as hesitant to give this excuse as you can be. I could have sworn I had one more cookie. Cindy, I've been crapping all day. In my experience, a Pizza Hut or other pizza company hat, shirt and bag will get you more places than the uniform of, say, a cop or armed courier. Because nobody would impersonate a pizza guy, but would impersonate a cop. Also not illegal to impersonate a pizza guy. Definitely illegal to impersonate a cop. Was just talking to my wife, who sells cars, tonight. Learned that you can roll negative equity from a previous car into a lease, total your new car, and only be on the hook for your insurance premium. So here's an unethical illegal example of the above. Own a car that is only worth $15,000, but for which you owe $25,000. You have $10,000 negative equity in your car. Lease a new car and roll in your negative equity. The dealership will take your old car, pay the bank for your old car, and charge you some additional amount on your lease to make up for the $10K in negative equity you rolled in. Now drive off the lot and total the car. You will have to pay the deductible on your car insurance, typically $500, but you will be excused from your lease, which means you were able to unload $10K worth of debt for $500. This is an example of insurance fraud. By adding a random one-way third leg onto a round-trip flight, you can sometimes fool the airline into dropping the fuel charges that usually add $300 $400 onto the ticket. It's called a fuel dump by frequent flyers. Buy an ebook on Amazon. turn it into a EPUB with caliber, which creates another copy, then return the book. I've only ever used this for university textbooks. Those guys deserve it for the prices they put up. If you create a live Linux USB stick, you can boot from that and access any unencrypted files on any machine running Windows 7 or earlier. If you have physical access to an unencrypted machine, you can almost always access its files. Can be done easily for Windows, Linux, and OS X. I'm not sure about the less common ones like BSD though. This is not illegal and is only slightly unethical. Whenever I see a 1-800 number on a product, I call the number and make some sort of complaint. I like to show that I like the company I am calling, but that the product I have wasn't satisfactory. I don't ask for anything. I just want to complain so that they can get better at their jobs. This works even better as the complaint is real. Usually, at the end of the call, they ask you to provide your name and address. I always give a fake name, fake phone number and fake email, but my real address. I've received tons of free stuff, coupons, letters of thanks, and sometimes I will get a check for the value of the product as a refund. This also works sometimes if you try the opposite. You call the 1-800 number and start praising them, saying how much you love their product and that you will be a client for life. You can use an empty Visa Rewards bank card to make in-flight purchases. The cards cannot be run while in flight, so all transactions are completed once you land. So you can receive any item you want for free. There is no way to track the failed transaction because your information is not tied to the card. My friend is a pilot and I have done this for years. But it could be tied to your seat number, which most likely is tied to your info. Holy crap. RIP inbox. Also, highest comment. Thanks all. If you dress up in a clown costume and walk through the McDonald's drive-thru, they'll give you all the money in the cash register if you're holding a gun. Asking for an answer on Reddit will often get you nothing, so mention the wrong answer, and you are almost guaranteed to get the right one, because people are more eager to prove others wrong than help a stranger. Bonus: when submitting OC, don't say you made it, say your wife girlfriend made it. Cunningham's law. The best way to get the right answer on the internet is not to ask a question, it's to post the wrong answer. If you have to bury a body, bury it, then fill in the hole halfway, put in a dead animal, and fill the hole. When sniffer dogs find it, police will dig down and find the dog, call it a false alarm and keep going. Unethical and possibly illegal. This guy, if you have to bury a body. Some dude wrote a book about life hacks. His best one, back when the Gov was rolling out the new $1 Sacageur coin. You could buy them from a Gov website and get them shipped tax-free to your house with no S&H charge. It was the Gov way of encouraging circulation. So this guy uses a high-yield mileage CC to buy about $5,000 worth every other day and simply takes them straight to the bank to deposit into his account. No money spent. Millions of free miles. Pressing 0 for a human, when the greeting has kindly asked you to listen to the entire message before pressing anything. If you swear a lot too, it can detect it occasionally and get you a human. Organic foods look a heck of a lot like regular foods at the self-checkout. New blender? Nope. Just a lot of Idaho potatoes. Sorry mom, I thought this PS4 was bananas. Want free lunch or even to make a few extra dollars and look like the office hero? When flyers for various restaurants come out, they often have buy one get one free coupons in them. Tell everyone in the workplace you are going to go to X to pick up lunch. Take orders and money for said orders. Use 2 for 1 coupons. Pocket the difference. When we were teens, we used to go to the movies on busy nights in large groups. 2 people would buy tickets, enter the theater. 1 person would head back outside with the 2 stubs and bring a 3rd person in. 3rd person would exit with both stubs and bring a 4th person in. We sometimes repeated this until we had over a dozen people in the theater for the price of 2 tickets. The ushers never saw the same face more than twice. We just opened the exit door to go directly outside for other people. When you have drugs on you, also carry a helium balloon with you at all times. If you get busted by the cops, attach the drugs to the balloon and let go. The police will not be able to find the drugs, and they probably will get fired for shooting at a balloon. Unless you use a black balloon. It's so stupid it might actually work. When applying for a job online, submit 2 or 3 fake resumes along with yours that are equally impressive. When you and the other candidates get called in, you will be the only one to show up for the interview. Also, you might want to submit them through different IPs or locations. Go to Walmart and get a 6-pack of IBC root beer. Take the bottles out and put whatever beer you want into it, as long as it's a brown bottle. Then go through the self-checkout. You get a 6-pack for $6-ish regardless of your age. Got a cracked windshield? Drive around on the highway for a bit and find a rock truck. Call the number on the back and tell them a rock flew out and broke your windshield. Sometimes they will pay for a replacement. I'm quite late, but I figured I'd share. My dad once told me this when I started to apply to jobs and colleges. If there is a list of things that are posted on the site of what you are applying for, copy and paste them into your application with white text. If it's run over by a computer, it will catch it and send it to the interviewers, getting you an instant interview. If all applications are looked over by people, it won't be seen at the bottom and won't matter to them. Photocopy the out of order signs at the computer lab so you can reserve one for yourself later if you have a problem with it being full. Disclaimer: I have never actually tried this. If a married person of the opposite sex is telling you the bad stuff about their spouse, you can bang them. This is actually so true it's unsettling. I've noticed that it only takes about 2 or 3 prompts, spread out temporally, to instill a false memory in someone. Struggling to write CV, or can't get a particular job? Post fake job offerings on websites such as Indeed.co.uk for that position you're interested in and watch the CV's resumes pour in, which you can then copy for your own advantage. Did this in college. Buy all your textbooks and keep the receipts. Return to the store later that day or a few days later. Most bookstores don't give 100% refunds after the first week. Grab the book you bought off the shelf. Take the book to the cashier and tell them you want to return it and show your receipt. If they require a reason, say you dropped the class or are sharing the book with a friend, get money back and leave. Never paid for books and got money back on resale at the end of the term. Most cashiers they have, especially at the beginning of the term when you are buying books, are temporary student workers who don't give a crap most of the time. Holy crap, no way this works. If you're ever traveling and forget your cell charger cable, just go into any hotel and ask to check their lost and found. There will be a box full of cables. You may want to act like you stayed there previously. I tried this and they asked for my name and room number. If you're going to the movie theater, hide snacks in your pockets. Unless the theater explicitly bans food from the room, it's totally fine usually, and most employees don't get paid enough to care. Get caught and really want to be unethical if they tell you to throw it away. Just make up a condition that would require you to intake more food. Diabetics and hypoglycemics need sugar. I have a friend who did this a couple of times when he was broke and reasoned that some things just cost too dang much. We went to a store and he bought something that he needed, like printer ink or whatever. Later he goes back to the store with just the receipt, leaving the item he bought with me. He picks up a new one off the shelf and returns that at the register with some bogus explanation like it wasn't the right kind or whatever. So he gets the money back for an item that they never sold. It's basically a harder to spot form of shoplifting. I think this is the reason why some stores have their return places outside the entry. My friend is a sneaky and morally corrupt sob. Invent a social or political perspective made up mostly of lies but peppered with truthful or truthy insights. Network with at least a few people who believe you because they want to believe something. This is your A group. As your A group grows, you collect a B group of people who follow you because they can't believe how full of crap you are. Tell your A group that a bash at you is a bash at all of them, and that B group simply lacks the courage or genius to see the truth. TM. Make up clever nicknames for members of your B group. Watch both groups grow in proportion to each other. Sell some merch and find some sponsors. Now you're pundit. You can ring up anything at a self-checkout as bananas by entering the clue code 4011. As long as the weight is accounted for, the machine won't know if that's bananas, imported African coffee, or prime motherfucking rib. You'll still be paying 0.49 CLB. I do 94,011 for organic bananas. Costs a few cents more, but it's better for the environment. In Canada, if you chose the French option when calling any call center, it will put you through to someone who also speaks English, instead of the outsourced foreigners who can barely speak English. This is something I think most places wouldn't want you to know, as they have to pay a living wage for these workers. Want a free breakfast? Stop by a local hotel that offers free continental breakfast. Did it just this week. Orange juice was watered down, but they had a waffle maker. Need to return something to a retail store out of warranty? Buy the same thing. Swap out the old item in the new item box and return with your handy receipt. Naturally, this won't work with items with a serial number like a PS4, but I haven't paid for hair clippers in like 4 years. You can go to college pretty much for free as a teenager if you run down to the courthouse with a friend and get a marriage certificate. You could even annul the marriage right after submitting your FAFSA. It knocks your parents' income off of your federal aid calculations, and as you're probably broke, you can then get plenty in grants. I jokingly tried to sell my girlfriend at the time on this. Her mother was not amused. In hindsight, that marriage probably would have fared better than my actual first marriage. People rarely question the guy in the big yellow fluorescent jacket, hard hat and or clipboard optional depending on circumstances. When someone says, "Have a nice day," don't say, "You too." Hoard everyone's nice days until you are immortal on nice days, other people's nice days. If you want more than one glass of water but don't have any more water, just drink the first glass twice. Free batteries. I recently needed a battery for my thermometer. None of the stores around me sold the right battery and I didn't have time to wait on Amazon just to take my temperature. I bought a replacement thermometer, swapped batteries and then returned the new thermometer. How to actually deal with unwanted boners. Flex every muscle in your legs, especially your quads, for at least 30 seconds, as hard as you can. When you relax, blood will rush from the boner to your legs. Works every time. Can be done standing up, but works best when seated. A basic Wii is a game pirate's dream machine, with a few simple procedures, which you can find fairly well documented and thoroughly explained with a simple Google search. You can install the Homebrew channel on your Wii. Once that's done, you'll have access to loads of emulators, basically giving you infinite free access to the entire libraries of the NES, SNES, Genesis, Sega CD, Game Gear, Game Boy Color, GBA, and PS1, as well as being able to play pirated GameCube and Wii games. So add the complete libraries of both of those systems to that machine as well. If you're willing to invest in a reasonable large hard drive, say 2 terabytes or do, you can even go around with all of those games available to you at any time. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.